What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're kind of doing like a vlog of what's happening at the shop. We're going to head down there in the Starlet and then kind of see what Martin and my dad are up to. Let's do it. So first problem of the day, if you guys remember, we were having some shaking issues with the driveline system in the Starlet. Now what's funny about it is every time you drive the car and put it in reverse, it completely changes the characteristics of how the car shakes. And I actually am in a really good setting, so I gotta try and get out of my driveway without putting it in reverse, which is gonna be kind of a trick. We are having some work done at our house. I'll probably end up having to have them help me push the car out. The welded diff kind of makes it kind of hard to do, so let's do it. As you guys can see, we got the car out. Thank you to the guys working on our house for helping me push it out. The welded diff kind of makes it hard when you gotta turn. So let's get to it. So we made it to the shop, car ran great, everything's been working. Finally, nice to be able to drive the car without too much shaking issues. I'll show you guys some of the clips of that. I guess I'll put them in, before that.
Well, duh.
My dad is working on California. If you guys watch our Instagram, you guys have seen that we did transmission work on this car. We got this mostly back together. Martin is doing some exhaust work on the 240. This is his street exhaust. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but this exhaust actually, the muffler is from a Ferrari 550 Monticello. We just had one lying around the shop. We threw that on there. Works actually pretty good for keeping this car a lot quieter. As you guys can see, Martin's going to make a new track exhaust that is more tandem friendly. I'll show you guys a clip of what happens when you don't have a tandem friendly exhaust.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about making it short, kind of like Formula D exhaust. They require you to have it exited after the diff. They have that, for many reasons, safety reasons and stuff like that. You don't want the flames and exhaust to, go out somewhere in the middle of the car and catch, fire or something like that. But anyway, the main reason I want to do it is because last time we had a little accident with Josh where I failed to initiate because my clutch slipped a little bit, and he ended up coming in sideways to my exhaust, which bent my main exhaust, dented his door, did all kinds of problems because the exhaust was sticking out. Back then I thought it was really cool, having exhaust sticking out. But as I got more serious with trying to practice tandeming, I want to make it a little bit more tandem friendly. So I'm going to make this short little turn down. Obviously make sure I have enough ground clearance, but I don't want the flame and, you know, exhaust air to go up, you know, because this is my trunk area. So I'm gonna turn it down sideways a little bit. Also another thing is I want to be able to hear my car, and I think pointing it out towards outside of the car will help me be able to hear my own exhaust. Another thing I'm gonna try out is mess with rear sway bar setting. I have an adjustable, I believe this is a White Line, makes it, White Line brand. And I used to run them soft, which is good for like getting a lot of traction and transitioning really smooth. But since I'm working on the Kansai flick, I'm gonna try the middle setting, which should stiffen up the sway bar a little bit. Hence, it'll give me a little bit of a easier time flicking it more dramatically.
So I'm going to kind of walk you guys around the shop, show you guys what we have going on, kind of give you guys an idea of what we do on a regular basis around here. So let's do it. So over here we're running super scrub enablers. You guys see it's running. This is just running the first op of these. It'll be done in a couple days, and then we got to run second op, so it'll be done probably sometime next week. Like I said, my dad's working on this Ferrari California. Up here we got two kind of long-term projects we haven't really had time to get to. So this is a 246 Dino. The engine's over there in the corner. You guys see that over there. It's a full restoration project. We just haven't really had time to get to it. Underneath it, underneath this big ass cover, is Jaguar XJ220. I'll show you guys the engine for that in just a second. Let's walk in here. So you guys see this is the engine and transmission for the Jaguar XJ220. So this car is owned by a customer up who has some property at Thermal, and he wants to actually be able to drive this car on the racetrack. And it came to us with only 470 miles from stock. So what we're doing, we put bigger Garrett G25s on it, new modern turbos. And then we're working on doing the fueling. You guys can see my dad made this part here. And then these are modern coils. So the fueling and a lot of the wiring is going to be redone and hope to modernize the car, make it so we can take it out of the track and run it and have a good time. You guys see we got a collection of engines here. It's an old 1970s Maserati engine. We're supposed to be doing all new fueling on that and getting rid of the carbs and doing injection. Here we got my dad's old 348 motor. This car was twin turbocharged in the early 2000s and made like 860 horsepower at the wheels. This block is now going to be used in a different project, but I'm sure you guys will see that down the line. This is Steven's Beams engine. This is the one that's going in the Maserati. This is a 308 engine that was blown the fuck up.
Watch your profanity.
Had a pretty bad rod knock. We're going to be doing some weird stuff to this. We're actually putting a Ferrari 360 crank in it and changing some other stuff. This is the bottom half of that engine. This is the diff, transmission's up under here. And then this is like the oil pan here. Kind of an interesting setup. This engine is for the 355 that's sitting outside. The shocks were blown up and they're really expensive to get fixed, so the customer just wanted to put brand new Nitron racing shocks on it. And then if you guys look over here, we got a couple more engines sitting over here. This is Lamborghini Diablo engine. Diablo's outside. This engine was blown up, fixed it, just haven't had the time to put it back together. And then this is Gabe Barron's engine for his S13. Eventually that car is going to come here and get beam swapped similar to Martin's. I'm sure you guys will see that when that time comes. You guys see we're outside. This is kind of the, so this is the 355 that has the Nitron shocks in it. You guys will like this system that we do. When we do engine out services in 355s and 348s, we actually just put caster wheels on the back here, and then we just roll it around like a shopping cart. It's kind of fun. It actually makes it really easy to move around. And then over here is a collection of cars that we got. This is a DeLorean. We still got to do some wiring on this. and then put it back the rest of the way together. It's kind of dirty, sorry about that. We'll get it cleaned. Sorry, Nick, if you ever watch this. The engine's nice and clean now, we promise. And then this actually is a turbo 308 project that we hadn't finished. You guys can see Martin did, this is the turbo. Martin did this whole exhaust system and these crazy looking headers. They're very spaghetti noodle like. And then the back header is like way up in there, kind of hard to see. Of course, the bi-turbo, we'll get to that pretty soon, actually probably next weekend. I'm thinking we'll try and get that engine prepped and kind of get it lined up in the car for the very first time. This is the Diablo that I showed you guys the engine for. Hopefully this car will get done pretty soon. I think my dad's gonna try and find some time to squeeze it in the next couple of months. This car, don't really worry about, it's here, it's a customer's car we're working on. We'll head back inside.
Oh, this tool is really cool, made by Tycon. So I'm making this little turn down thing out of titanium because I wanted to save weight, and also it's kind of cool. This tool lets you clamp down your V-band, so when you weld it and put a lot of heat to it, it will not warp. And it has a system where you can spray argon gas inside, so the titanium welds will look really nice and also come out really strong.
So also film some B-roll of that and throw that in for you guys to see Martin welding this thing up and kind of see the process that Martin goes through.
Wedges like this, you really want to pack a lot of places when you start welding it, and if you don't have enough tack weld, it will warp and you'll end up with a lot of gap later on. So the trick is to tack weld as many places as you can before you start welding it.
As you guys can see, this car is running again. So this car had a hydraulic leak from the DSG gearbox that comes in this car. Steve's just using a diagnostic tool to check out all of this car stuff and make sure everything's working properly. One of the things you gotta do after you do a gearbox fix on something like this. A lot of the modern cars have these kind of things. We're gonna go for a little test drive. Make sure the gearbox is working properly. You gotta check these kind of things after you tear the whole gearbox apart. Make sure everything works good. So it's typically pretty smart after you do, when you tear the whole gearbox apart, make sure it shifts fine. You guys can hear it's got a DSG or DCT dual clutch transmission where it engages both gears at one time, has that seamless shift. We had that whole system torn apart, so it's good to make sure you check everything. Everything seems to work, shifting good.
This one's faster than the last one I drove. It's faster with the traction control. I like that.
funny the way it spins the tires. Like has wheel hop for sure. So I threw the Starlet up on the lift, just wanted to kind of check some of this stuff. The reverse box actually has a little bit of a leak right here. You guys can see some of the oil sitting there on it. Not really a whole lot we're going to do about this. This whole reverse box probably is either going to leave the car completely or be moved back to the back onto the diff. We'll kind of have to see once we do the rest of the suspension setup. The new CV system seems to be holding up pretty good. Everything seems tight. Love that, don't you?
Everything seems tight.
As you can see, Martin got his little exhaust pipe all welded up. Nice and pretty, silver and gold. Not a whole lot of discoloration, which means it's nice and strong.
What's important is this inside. Since we put argon inside, you're able to get, you know, well, there's a little bit of oxidation there where I tap welded, but for the most part, you know, when you see that on the inside, that means, you know, the welds are strong. So,
Yep. Time to take it apart and put it up on the car and give it a test. Martin got his little exhaust thing mounted. And you can see he was talking about that angle earlier, so it's kind of coming down and out towards the driver's side wheel. You can hear it.
And another thing that I didn't talk about earlier is that I think you want to think exhaust as an instrument almost, and then the sound is really important to us drifters. And I know from my experience, making the exhaust shorter will give you a little bit higher pitched sound. So I'm hoping to achieve, you know, that from doing this. And another thing is the fact that I use titanium, hoping that I will have a little bit of unique sound coming from it. You know, I'm gonna keep the rest of the exhaust stainless because as you can see, stainless steel is much stronger when it comes to, you know, banging on the ground and stuff like that. Titanium exhaust, it's cool for track, but if you drive your car on the street a lot, I prefer stainless steel, but hoping that this little tip will, you know, give me the unique sound.
Chances of doing something cool by about 10 times. Martin's doing street poles. I'm kind of missing out. I'm walking over there. Your bumper's falling off. Your bumper's falling off. Drifter problems. Just drive it slow. I'll see you. That's what happens when you try bigger tires than you've been running all year. Martin decided to put some, I think they're 45 series front tires on it. They are meaty as hell and they pretty clearly rubbed pretty bad. So, tore his front bumper off. It's problems when you're trying stuff. Just started rubbing the thing here. You guys see? He was testing some tires out, tire sizes. I think he went a little bit too hard, a little bit too soon. You want to come with me to hear the talk? Yeah. You're not worried about it hitting again? Oh well. Drifter problems, right? Is like underneath the car now, and so it resonates in the car better.
Well, yeah, I want to be able to hear it.
That guy gave you a look like, what the fuck? Man, everybody wants to go onto our street. So if you guys see, after we tested it, the big guy was kind of like butthurt about the way it was running, that he couldn't call it.
It runs good. You guys just changed the back pressure.
And so now,
you guys went and changed the back pressure. It needs a little bit more throttle pistol.
So now he's going to change a couple of things so that hopefully Martin can call.
Look at this. Look at that. I don't think it's seeing.
jogging. We're jogging. I'm fat, but we're jogging. I'm still fat, but we're jogging. Jogging. There he goes. Fat kid running, fat kid running, fat kid running. So you guys saw Martin did some street pulls, tested the new exhaust system. My dad did some tuning, made everything look good. And now Martin's gonna put on his street exhaust so you can drive it home and not get pulled over by the coppers. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys really like kind of videos like this that are more just like hanging out of the shop, doing our thing, working on cars, let us know down in the comments below. If you guys wanna support our channel, make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment on the videos, as well as check out our merch. I'll put a link down below. Thank you guys so much.